So if we talk about 2014 Auckland champs in March, you're 17 years old, you're snatching 114 and 146 clean and jerk. Talk to us a bit about those early competitions.
Yeah, I don't actually remember the Auckland champs, but in that part of the year, that's when I took off rugby. Like it was like no more rugby, it was just completely weightlifting because our cycle was on for Oceanias.
Yep.
That was my first Oceanias, and I remember going into Oceanias and I didn't even expect to medal and I got silver.
Wow.
And I told the guy who won that I will come back 2015 and I will beat him. And so trained throughout that year. I was excited, but I was still training at the time, probably like once or twice every week.
Yep.
Or even sometimes I would just show up like once a month, you know?
Wow.
Just because I still didn't like the sport.
Yep.
And as soon as I hit that first international and I medaled, I was like, wow, that was one of the main reasons why I chose weightlifting instead of a different pathway. And I was just thinking like, man, I think I can actually do this. So when I came back from Tonga, 2015, I was like, I'll jump straight into this and see what happens at the Pacific Games.
So Pacific Games 2015 rolls around. You got that clean and jerk up to 181 kilos now.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the Pacific Games.
It was the biggest competition I've been to date at the time. I did beat that guy that I told him I'll beat the year before.
Wow.
But then I still came second. There was another guy that beat me that year.
Oh man.
So I told him the exact same thing. I would beat you when 2016 rolls around. And he did the exact same thing. He laughed at me like the guy before laughed at me.
And how do you find that? Does that add fuel to your fire?
Yeah. Just it makes it fun because then you actually have competition. Whereas when you come back to New Zealand, there's hardly anybody.
Well, it is quite a lonely sport. You've spoken about that in the past. You find it lonely. You find it boring. Talk to me about how that mental game has improved over the time period.
I guess in the years gone by, like everything, you just start to adapt and you start actually liking what you're doing. And
Yep.
for doing it for almost like 7 years now, properly doing weightlifting, I think there's no way I could still do it if I didn't like it, you know? And my mental game has definitely improved and I think of things differently, especially in sports and life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think weightlifting has helped me sharpen my mental game a lot more than anything else.
So 2016 rolls around. You have your first crack at a 200 clean and jerk competition. It's the first time any New Zealand lifters clean 200 or more since 2002. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
You go on to win the Junior Commonwealth Champs as a junior, silver in the senior. So everything's tracking up for you. Do you remember much about that time period?
Yeah, 2016 was my year of improving. That was my biggest year. Beginning of the year, I remember that competition because in 2015, my clean and jerk was 186 in nationals. And then in 2016, Auckland Champs, which was a few months later, I opened up on a new record and it was 191, I think.
Jeez, man.
And then jumped 196 and then jumped 200. Attempted 200, missed it. And it's the youngest ever to attempt a 200 clean and jerk.
Wow. So what do you attribute that kind of massive increase in your numbers to?
I think it was because 2015 I actually started double days. I went from the beginning of the year to having 3 sessions a week to halfway through the year when I had 4 to 5 sessions a week, and then the end of the year I started having up to 12 sessions a week.
Jeez, man.
And so by 2016 I think my body was used to it and trying to improve a lot more. And
so you're talking about double days and training 6-7 days a week. How do you get your body to stay in one piece? You know, you're talking physio, chiropractic care. What are your recovery protocols leading into a comp?
At the beginning, because we didn't really know how serious this thing was. The only kind of recovery I had was either swimming with family and stuff or sleeping. Because I sleep a lot and I like to sleep. So at the time it was just that. And then we got into physios and massages, and that wasn't more until like 2017 when things started getting real serious.